Eternal Raga, Bhagavad Gita, one shloka every day. Chapter 1, Shloka 5, The Moral Magnetism of Dharma. Namaste and welcome back to Eternal Raga, Bhagavad Gita, one shloka every day. Yesterday we heard Duryodhana name three mighty warriors on the Pandava side, Duryodhana, Virata and Drupada, and discovered that each name was a mirror reflecting a moment where Duryodhana's plans had failed. We explored why he used Bhima and Arjuna as his benchmark of fear and what it reveals about a mind that measures everything through the lens of threat. Today the roll call continues. Duryodhana names 6 more warriors, and here something fascinating happens. He moves beyond the inner circle of the Pandava family and their closest allies. He begins naming kings from distant kingdoms, kings who had no personal blood feud with the Kauravas, kings who chose to stand with the Pandavas not because of family obligation, but because of something deeper. In Shloka 4, we saw fear. In Shloka 5, we see something that should have frightened Duryodhana far more: the moral authority of the Pandava cause. These 6 warriors are proof that dharma, when it is genuine, attracts support from places you never expected. Let us listen. The shloka Dhrishtaketu Chekitana Kashi Rajascha Viryavan Purujit Kuntibhojascha Shaibyascha Narapungava. In Devanagari, Dhrishtaketus Chekitana Kashi Rajascha Viryavan Purujit Kuntibhojascha Shaibyascha Narapungava. Padached, word by word breakdown. This verse is a roster of names, but in Sanskrit, even a roster carries meaning. Let us examine each word and, more importantly, each name, because names in Sanskrit literature are never arbitrary. They are compressed biographies. Dhrishtaketu, Dhrishtaketu. The name is a compound of 2 words. Drishta meaning bold, courageous, one who has clear sight, and Ketu meaning banner, intelligence, or radiance. Together, the name means one whose banner is courage, or one who shines with bold clarity. He was the son of Shishupala, the king of Chedi. Chekitana, Chekitana, from the Sanskrit root chit meaning consciousness, awareness, or remembrance. The name means the awakened one, or one who possesses deep remembrance. Chekitana was a Yadava prince of the Vrishni clan, the same clan as Krishna. He commanded an entire Akshohini, a division of approximately 218,700 soldiers of the Pandava army. Kashi Raja, the king of Kashi. Kashi, modern-day Varanasi, Benares, was one of the oldest and most sacred cities of ancient India. To be the king of Kashi was to hold one of the most prestigious thrones in the subcontinent. The Kashi Raja in this battle was a renowned warrior described as a Maharatha. Cha and the conjunction that links these names into a single relentless chain. Viryavan, valiant, heroic, possessing great virya. The word virya in Sanskrit carries more than just physical courage. It implies inner strength, vital energy, and the fire of determination. By calling the Kashi Raja Viryavan, Duryodhana acknowledges a man of extraordinary inner and outer power. Purujit. The name means conqueror of many, or one who has conquered cities. The compound is Puru, many, plus Jit, conqueror. Purujit was the brother of Kuntibhoja and a maternal uncle of the Pandavas through Kunti's adoptive lineage. Kuntibhoja, Kuntibhoja. He was the king of the Kunti kingdom, a Yadava prince who was childless and adopted Pritha, the girl who would later be known as Kunti, mother of the Pandavas. Her very name, Kunti, comes from his name. He raised her as his own daughter. He is therefore the adoptive grandfather of the Pandavas, and his presence on the battlefield is deeply personal. Shaibya. Shaibya, the king of the Shivi or Shibi clan. The Shibi dynasty was legendary in Indian tradition for one quality above all others: self-sacrifice. King Shibi, the ancestor of this clan, is the protagonist of one of the most famous stories in Indian mythology. A king who offered his own flesh to save a pigeon from a hawk, proving that true dharma means protecting even the weakest at any cost to yourself. Narapungava, the best among men, a bull among men, a supreme human being. The word Pungava literally means bull. In Vedic imagery, the bull symbolizes strength, virility, and leadership. To call someone Narapungava is to place them at the pinnacle of human excellence.
Full translation. Dhrishtaketu, Chekitana and the valiant king of Kashi, Purujit, Kuntibhoja and Shaibya, the best among men. 6 names, 6 kingdoms. 6 kings who looked at the Pandava cause and said, "We stand with dharma, whatever it costs us." Dhrishtaketu, the son who rose above his father's hatred. Of all the names in this verse, Dhrishtaketu's carries perhaps the most remarkable story. He was the son of Shishupala, the king of Chedi, and Shishupala was one of Krishna's most bitter enemies. Shishupala harbored a lifelong hatred for Krishna. At the Rajasuya Yajna performed by Yudhishthira, when Krishna was honored as the most exalted person present, Shishupala erupted in a torrent of abuse. Krishna, who had promised Shishupala's mother that he would forgive her son 100 offenses, counted each insult silently. When the count reached 101, Krishna released his Sudarshana Chakra and Shishupala was slain on the spot. Dhrishtaketu witnessed his father's death at Krishna's hands. He had every reason to hate Krishna and the Pandavas, every reason to join Duryodhana's side for revenge. But he did not. He chose the Pandava side. He chose dharma over vendetta. This is an extraordinarily powerful detail. Dhrishtaketu's name means one whose banner is bold clarity. And indeed, his choice proves that he possessed a clarity that transcended personal grief. He understood that his father's death was not murder. It was the consequence of his father's own choices. For Duryodhana, speaking this name must have been particularly galling. If even Shishupala's own son refuses to stand with the Kauravas, what does that say about the moral standing of Duryodhana's cause? Kashi Raja, the weight of a sacred city. Kashi, Varanasi, was not just any city in ancient India. It was the city of Shiva, the city of eternal light. To be the king of Kashi was to bear the spiritual authority of one of the most venerated places in the entire civilization. When the king of Kashi stands on the Pandava side, he is bringing the symbolic weight of a holy city. He is making a statement that the spiritual center of the land recognizes the Pandava cause as dharmic. Kuntibhoja, the man who raised the mother of heroes. Kuntibhoja's presence on this battlefield is deeply personal. He adopted the young princess Pritha, raised her as his own daughter, and gave her the name by which the world knows her, Kunti. She would go on to become the mother of 3 Pandava princes through divine boons. Kuntibhoja is, in a sense, the origin point of the Pandava story. His presence on the battlefield is the presence of a grandfather fighting alongside his grandchildren. It adds a layer of family love and sacrifice to the Pandava ranks that goes beyond military strategy. Shaibya, the legacy of ultimate sacrifice. The Shibi clan's reputation in Indian civilization rested on a single story. King Shibi offered his own flesh, piece by piece, to save a pigeon from a hawk, willing to give everything. When Duryodhana sees the Shaibya king standing with the Pandavas, the symbolism is unmistakable. The Pandava side is the side where people who understand sacrifice gather. The side where those willing to give everything for what is right find their natural home. Duryodhana calls him Narapungava, the best among men. It is the highest compliment available in the Sanskrit warrior vocabulary, and Duryodhana uses it for an enemy. The hidden pattern. Why these 6? Step back for a moment and look at the pattern that emerges from this verse. Duryodhana has named 6 warriors, and not one of them was compelled to fight for the Pandavas by family obligation. Dhrishtaketu had every reason to fight against them. Kashi Raja could have stayed neutral. Yet all 6 chose the Pandava side. Why? Because the Pandava cause was just. This is the lesson Duryodhana cannot see even as he speaks these names. You can buy mercenaries, but you cannot buy Maharathas. You can compel attendance, but you cannot compel conviction. Living the Shloka. What this means for us today. This verse asks us a deceptively simple question. Who stands with you and why? In your work, your relationships, your community. Are the people around you there because they believe in what you represent? Or are they there because of obligation, pressure, or the absence of a better option? Dhrishtaketu's story is especially relevant for our time. How many of us have the clarity to rise above personal grievance and choose the right side, even when the right side includes someone who has hurt us? And Shaibya's legacy asks an even deeper question. When the moment comes that demands sacrifice, not of your flesh, but of your comfort, your reputation, your ego, will you place yourself on the scale? Today's reflection. Here is the question to carry with you today. Do the people who stand with me do so because of who I am, or because of what I can give them? And when I choose which side to stand on in the conflicts around me, do I choose based on personal advantage or based on what I know to be right? The Pandava army was not larger, but it was fighting for something real. And that made all the difference. That noticing is the beginning of freedom. What lies ahead? Tomorrow, in Shloka 6, Duryodhana's catalogue reaches its crescendo. He names Yudhamanyu, Uttamauja, Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra and Arjuna, and the 5 sons of Draupadi. Thank you for being here. Every shloka reveals something about ourselves. That is the genius of the Gita. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Eternal Raga, where wisdom meets peace.